Breaking news. With Outsurance, you always get something out. News Leader, proudly brought to you by Outsurance.
And South Africa's largest food retailer, Shoprite, has delivered a solid first half performance, underpinned by a strong festive trading season and resilient consumer demand. Despite easing food inflation and slight margin pressure, the group managed to grow sales, lift profits and increase its interim dividend. Shoprite CEO Pieter Engelbrecht joined Ray for greater insight on that performance.
There are two things that I would like to point out. The one is that from Black Friday through the festive, the Shoprite Group have outgrown the rest of the market, the retail market, by 5.3 times. That is, for me, an incredible result. And I want to ascribe some of that to the fact that we are seeing the benefits of previous investments we made in tools like price optimization, artificial intelligence, the ability that we have to analyze the data, customer data, 34 million extra savings customers, to a level where we can much better determine what the right price is, what the trends are, what are people looking for, and what are they prepared to buy, let's say, on a Black Friday.
Yeah.
Black Friday wasn't on a payday, it was a mid-month, so you can't just indiscriminately put items on promotion and think people are going to buy it.
Sure.
So I think that predictability and the power of the data is giving us an advantage. The second part that I want to say is around the inflation. So our internal inflation during the month of December was minus. So we were in deflation.
Sure.
Whereas the official food inflation was published as 4.7%. Now, if that was really our inflation, then Shoprite would have grown 12%.
Yeah, sure.
And everybody would have said, wow, double-digit growth, it's fantastic. Now we're reporting a 7.8%. But because of the inflation, and I've had a question in my presentation this morning around that there's such a big discrepancy between official food inflation and that what we as retailers experience.
Peter, I want to come in there. Why is that? And how do you keep your prices so low? Because you're right, consumers are cash strapped. And if it's a person like you or me, we go to different supermarkets. But you do seem to have cornered the market. How do you keep those prices low?
One answer, efficiencies and a superior supply chain. That is what I can... If you give you a very short answer, I pride myself by it that the people of Shoprite gives a superior execution in terms of what we do, and always a primary customer focus and then backwards. So we start with the customer, then we work backwards and say, okay, how can we make it cheaper? And one example would be, I say always, the only retailer in the world that I know is that sells a product for R1, that is 6 US cents, is Shoprite.
Yeah.
USafe in particular. It's got a packet of biscuits, there's 18 little biscuits in there, and we sell it for R1. And you see the smile on that face of that kid that buys that packet of chips or chocolate.
Yeah.
That is what we do.
Yeah. Peter, if I can come in here now, 60-60. It's been genius. It really has been. And I'm looking at your results and I can see that the 60-60 idea has really generated cash. It's really generated money. What's the backstory there? This has been an absolute industry leader.
We also make mistakes. It didn't start out all that great. So we were late entrants into call it e-commerce and omni-channel world. And you will remember that some of our peers have probably been in it for 15 to 20 years already. And so when we started, we also started the traditional way. The fulfillment centers, 3 of them throughout the country, trying to service everybody from that. And then we realized there's one thing that Shoprite does is we fail fast. And this thing wasn't going to work. So what we thought at the time was our Achilles heel became our advantage. It's the fact that we are a corporate business and we own our stores and we have real-time systems. And that then allowed us to pick from store. That's the big difference. We pick from store, which means automatically, because we have 3,000 stores out there, we within 90% of the addressable market.
That was Pieter Engelbrecht, CEO of Shoprite.
Breaking news. Switch to Outsurance Business Insurance and get a 20% discount. News Leader, proudly brought to you by Outsurance.